People don't necessarily think about the influence of artists like Aaron Douglas on Henri Matisse, or the influence of jazz music on visual arts, or the influence of Homer on Romare Bearden. And I was really fascinated with a few different images that they had made and kind of was trying to like merge them. When I look at the ideas that I'm most compelled by, it's about the connection of the human spirit. I saw a commencement speech that Ken Burns gave where he referenced the term kinship of the soul, talking about Rabbi Singer and this idea of this spirit that connects us all. I feel like there's a war on peace in this moment, and I always think about the women's suffrage movement and the early labor rights protests here in England and how they were replicated in the United States and then replicated all over the world. The images that are latent in my collages are from these nonviolent movements from the 20th century. And I think about the relationship between those movements and the art that was being made around the same time, but also about the legacy of them in this moment. I'm really fascinated with the collective memory, and why I'm interested in images of public presentation of people working towards collective social good is because those images usually invited more people to come out. But also, it's like time traveling for me, really. It's a way to take myself and maybe viewers on a journey to a certain period in time and meet people who we can't actually learn their names, but perhaps we can find their spirit, find a connection to ourselves and them. I am inspired by the creativity because protest is a form of public performance, right? It's a creative act. People make signs, they come together, they sing songs, they may employ fashion. I feel like that spirit, that torch, should always be in us, that to realize that while things are pretty great, there's a lot more work to do to make them even better. I was walking down a hallway at a sign shop where I was making my very first sculpture, and I saw something just like pop out at me, and I was like, wait, there's no lights in here, why is something glowing? And they're like, oh, this is a material we use to make street signs. And I never realized that, of course, when I look at a one-way sign, it doesn't glow, but when I'm in a car, it illuminates. And that's because the headlights of the car are reflecting back the tiny crystals in the vinyl. I was like, let's print white ink on white vinyl and see what happens. And so there was an image that was invisible. Did black ink on black vinyl and the image was invisible unless I shined a light from my unique vantage point. And I thought that was a really powerful metaphor to use a wayfinding material to look at images from history, to find my way to navigate through historical images and moments that I can't get back to. I felt like I wanted to talk about the sea because of the relationship to Great Britain and the Empire and the sea. Thinking about the Royal Navy and its impact on all of our lives, I was like just looking through images from the past, and I just kept seeing the boats and the sea. Rather than actually making the boats, I wanted to kind of reference the boats and the tondos that look like portholes from ships, and then the open sea at night. When you shine the light on these works, you actually see the sea of faces. Heraclitus said, "No man ever steps into the same river twice, for he is not the same man and he's not the same river." That statement just really stuck with me, this idea of the sea never being the same and the people never being the same because change is constantly happening. These works, because they're retroreflective, you can never see the whole image. Your eyes are always kind of bouncing around because of the way the light impacts it. All of my work is essentially challenging the viewer to reconsider their agency and their intentionality and their awareness. I love collecting images and playing with images, and I think it's really powerful in this moment to look at historical images because we're at a precipice where fabricated images are looking more and more like authentic images, and it's going to be harder to discern moments of history that actually happened or that were imagined. Storytelling and finding our truth is going to become a greater challenge. I do really think that we're at a time where illusions are actually running the world more than ever. And there's not much we can do about it, but I think the more that we're willing to look closer and to look deeper, the more power we'll have over time.